So today we're going to be talking about slope. Slope, the book definition is a number that describes both the steepness and the direction of the line, how steep it is, and the direction on whether it's going uphill or downhill. We'll be defining it exactly, but we do want to glimpse at the line and at least be able to know a little bit about it. So our fraction that's going to describe our slope is going to be a positive if it goes uphill from left to right. If you write your name on something, you can automatically see whether your name is going uphill or down one. We write from left to right. So this would have a positive slope where this would have a negative slope. Here Amy's going up, here Amy's going down. This would have a zero slope because Amy's just going flat. And then this right here is Amy not doing what she should be doing. She's fallen off of a cliff. So this is undefined slope. Okay. Oh no. So undefined is a zero with a line through it, where this is just zero. Okay. So when we are looking at graphs, we literally start from any point we want on the left and work towards the right. We work in the direction that we read from left to right. So first off, I know this is going to be a negative because it's going downhill from left to right. And I just stay on the little grid of the paper and it's going down to and over 3. And I define it as the rise over the run. The slope is the rise over the run, and it will be positive if it's going up and negative if it's going down. So going from the left to the right, I would have to go down 2 blocks and over 3. We go up or down first, left or right second. Up or down first, left or right second. You got to rise out of bed before you start running through the day. Sometimes they don't put the dots on the line for you. This one originally didn't have any dots on it. So I need to find points where it exactly hits. So I happen to pick those 2 dots right there. And then working from the dot on the left to the dot on the right, I went up 3 and over 1. So it's rise on the top, run on the bottom. I could have used 2 different dots. I could have used this dot that I'll now make red and this dot here. And those 2 would have said I went up 6 and over 2. Well, what's 6 over 2 reduced to? 3 wholes or 3. Okay. I can say the state slope either way. I can say it's 3 wholes or 3. What does that slope mean? That this is going up 3 spaces for every 1 that it goes over. What is this slope saying? It's going down 2/3 of a box each time it goes left. And 2/3 is kind of hard to tell. So instead of saying it's going down 2/3 for every 1, I say it goes down 2 for every 3. So when they give us 2 points, we're going to need to find the change in the y over the change in the x. And there's this rule that we're going to be using that's saying take the second y and subtract the first y. I'm going to show it to you using the rule, and I'm going to show it to you using the shortcut as well. When we use the rule, it's the pesky negatives that get us. So first off, you need to know that this is the first x and this is the first y. And this is the second x and the second y. Let me make sure that's a defined y. So what we do is we take the second y and we subtract the first y. That's going to find us the difference there. So where kids mess up is the rule has a subtraction sign in it and this number had a subtraction sign in it. So you got to be careful of the pesky negatives. So this ends up being 12. And then this one right here, I take my second x and I subtract my first x. And that gives me negative 30. Okay, I always look at these to see if I can reduce it, and it looks like to me I can divide these both by 6. So that when I divide it by 6 gives me 2 over negative 5. So this is up to back 5, or I could say that the negative could be on the top, down 2 and right 5. Run out of room there, aren't I? Gosh, what a hot mess. Okay. There is another way of doing these, which is better for some people. So we find the change in the y over the change in the x. So looking at my original points, how far apart are these? Going from this dot to this spot, this one to this went up 12. I'm at negative 2 and I went to 10. That's 12. And then here, this started way up at 19 and went down to negative 11. That is a drop of 30. That gets me that same thing, which would still get me the same answer of -2/5. Okay, that negative can be in the top, the middle, or the bottom. Let's try it again, and maybe I'll have you do this one on your own. Okay, pause the video, do it here. This number goes first, this number goes second. The second y minus the first y, that ends up with -3. The second x minus the first x. There's my answer. Okay, remember that negative can be the top, the middle, or the bottom. Doing the shortcut method, this to this is a drop of 3. This to this is a gain of 8. Not everyone can do that. So you kind of have to decide which way is better for you. Last one's a special situation. So you can see that this is 8, this is -13, the change in my y's, the change in my x's. This ends up giving me 21 over 0. What does that mean? Division by 0 is undefined. Okay. Let's try it by the shortcut. This to this, the change in the y's would be going up 13 to get to 0, and then 8 more, so that's 21. And then the change in the x's would be still 0. So that would also get me undefined. Okay. This rule gets people a little bit with that subtraction sign in the middle. So you got to practice, practice, practice.